Well, Cowboys looked good last night.
All
It's
right,
too bad
relax.
too bad
Look who they're
the
playing.
Raiders sold someone's parlay, but it's all good.
We'll get to that.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Shot Sports Podcast. Grab a drink, a snack. This is your weekly dose of sports, where we'll do a deep dive of the world of sports. Whether you're a casual fan or a diehard, we're here to bring you the latest, the best analysis, and the hottest takes. So go ahead and subscribe, share, even leave a comment. We appreciate all the feedback. Hit the like button for us and tap the noti on the right so you can be notified whenever we drop, so you won't miss one. We do have on the show. Sam is back finally. We have Chris and Nazir. How's everybody doing?
We were like 5 inches away from having Drew. Pause.
We were very close. Very close.
Very, very close.
He's gonna hear it from
It
me
is
later.
what it is. Life happens. Life gets in the way. That's why I've been off for a little while again. But other than that, I mean, I just got off of being sick over the weekend. That was very fun.
Yeah, welcome back to life,
Yeah, no kidding.
Chris.
Oh, sorry. I spaced for a second. Yeah, I'm doing good. Weekend was good. Fantasy teams went 3-1. I can't complain too much.
Yeah.
Mm.
Man,
we're
Drew avoided some backlash from me today, man. I beat him in fantasy. I'm 2-9 now. How does that make any sense?
Jeez.
The thing is, your team's not half bad. It's just like,
I just get unlucky, man.
yeah, you've been really unlucky.
Literally nothing.
Like I saw your team when you were like, what, 0-6? I'm like, how is this team 0-6?
Makes no sense. That's when I traded everybody too. And then my team got better.
I'm the worst 5-6 team in history in that league. I don't understand with all the injuries I've had. I've got 4 guys. I started with drafting Malik Neighbors, and then I've also had across the year Jaden Reed, Joe Burrow, and Trey Benson go down an IR, and now I have Sam Laporta on IR. And I think this is the league I have Jackson Dart with a concussion. It's either that one or my other ESPN league. I forget which one. But yeah, so Brian Thomas Jr. always hurt. Marvin Harrison Jr. has been hurt. Elic Iomanor, I was forced to start Elic Iomanor this past week, and now he's hurt. Titans receiver, Elic Iomanor.
I can't say I know who that is.
Former Stanford product. He was the only way I remember this guy is from, I think it was 2023, Stanford at Colorado, and that game Elic Iomanor goes off for like 300 receiving yards and 4 touchdowns or something like that. It was ridiculous. That game went to like double overtime.
Nice.
The Bears are in first place.
Yeah,
that they are.
Wrong.
Hey man, we'll get to that.
He's not wrong.
We'll get to that. That's some good stuff to talk about, man.
Dude, 9 better be at the top.
Oh, dude,
that's all I'm gonna say.
Look, Chris, you're spoiling it, man. Just hold on, hold your horses a little bit, all right?
Well, with that, we'll jump into our first topic, which is Nas cooked and baked list.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we got a lot to talk about today. Good and bad. A lot of bad, a lot of great. We are going to start, of course, with our baked, because that is the good side of things. We don't want to just leap right into the bad stuff. We want to start off with the good stuff, the baked list. That's the cooked list, baked list. Bang, bang. Bryce Young, baby.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Look who's at the top. Hey, I only put him at the top so I can brag. I told everybody that Bryce Young is better than CJ Stroud. Now, listen, CJ Stroud had a better rookie year, but that doesn't attain to right now. CJ Stroud can't stay healthy. When he is healthy, he can't throw a deep ball without Nico Collins. Anyone else, it's just a pick or it's in the dirt. Bryce Young can throw to anybody. You know why? Because he doesn't have a clear number 1 yet. He has to throw to everybody. Bryce Young, 400-something yards, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions, no turnovers. I mean, the kid was just balling, destroying the Falcons like he usually does. Bryce Young, welcome to the baked list.
Panthers look pretty nice too. Panthers look pretty nice right now.
6-5. They're a sneaky 6-5.
You know
why?
Sneaky wild card team.
Young. And the defense.
I mean, they get destroyed by any real team that's not named the Green Bay Packers. Probably
we'll see on Monday.
Round, but
are the Packers a real team? That's the question we got to ask here. Are they?
Well, I'm throwing shade towards them right now.
Listen, man, we'll see on Monday. They play the Niners. Panthers play the Niners on Monday in San Francisco. We see what happens if Bryce Young wins that game. I don't care if he has a bad game or a good game. It doesn't matter. If he is the quarterback and wins that game, we got to have some discussions. Okay. Josh Allen, what a historic day you had, sir. I mean, they're just feeding Josh Allen the ball. He made a throw in the end zone where it was just like extremely impressive to me. Like, I'm a big Josh Allen hater, but I can't deny his greatness. He was absolutely amazing during the Buccaneers game. Bo Nix outplayed shitty Mahomes, and I love it. You know why? Okay, I'm not a Broncos fan. Jalen is. I am a Chargers fan, but I would rather see the Broncos win the division than the Chiefs any single day. I think anyone in the division can say that outside of the Chiefs. I think the Broncos would say if they were in our position, they would rather us win. I don't think anyone.
What did I say before this year started? What did I say before this year started? Broncos.
So we all have time. They got a gauntlet
Broncos
up, just like us.
There is time. There's still 7 weeks left.
They're riding though. They're riding high.
We got a lot of time left. I know that the Chargers got their ass kicked this weekend, but we'll get to that too. But let's move on. Matt Stafford looked amazing against the Seahawks defense. Held himself really well. A lot of drops in that game, but a lot of great coverage by the defense. But he still played his ass off. Oh yeah, we'll get to that. Don't worry about that. Penny Jamar sucked. Dude, look, we'll get to that, man. I look, I have a lot of words for him. JSN, I mean, I can't really deny he's the top 3 receiver right now in the league, man. He's just
top
nice.
1, dude. He's the best.
He's up there.
So
he might
about
be.
that.
You can argue it all you want.
Too. Yeah.
You can argue it all you want, man. He's nice, man. I was wrong about him. I wholeheartedly admit it. Micah Parsons, the reason that defense was just disgusting down the stretch at the end of that game, even though Jameis Winston was kind of dotting your defense up just a little bit.
Jameis Winston threw us 5 interceptions, and we only got 1 of them.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
But when you only get 1, you look at the completions. That's exactly what he was doing. Myles Garrett is the best defensive player of our generation. I don't know why Nolan thought it was a great idea to tell me that TJ Watt was the best of our generation when it's not even close. Myles Garrett is disgusting. He has 15 sacks through the first 12 games or something like that. And he's on pace to destroy TJ Watt's record of the all-time sack record. So I'm excited to see Myles Garrett do exactly what he's going to do on the Browns because that's his choice. He should have left. I think he should have came to like the Packers or something. That would have been disgusting. You wouldn't have Micah, but you still have you probably have a better D-line in my opinion because Myles Garrett is the best defensive player in the league by far. Lamar Jackson and Mark Andrews. I'm very proud of them. They're coming back. Even though that Browns defense is just it's really hard to play against, man. Every time, every week. And anyone who plays that defense is gonna have a hard time. But congratulations to them. Mark Andrews looked amazing. Trying to redeem himself from last year's playoffs. But yeah, good luck to him. Drake May. I am excited for this kid, man. He is disgusting. And he played another hard defense. The Jets defense isn't any slouch. But you know what helped them? Trayvon Henderson and Mike Vrabel and Stephon Diggs. He has some great company around him. Mike Vrabel is a great coach, man. I think people forgot.
This has to be the Patriots have to have had one of the quickest turnarounds in recent memory, going from what did they win? 3 games last year, maybe 4,
3 or 4,
and now they're what 9-2, 8-2.
I just think
on a path to win not only the division but potentially the number 1 seed. Their schedule is not hard at all, even down the stretch.
They play the Bills one more time, I think, and that'll pretty much decide it.
It's been a cakewalk so far for them. I'm not saying that it's been a gauntlet or anything, but they did beat the good teams in front of them too. They beat Tampa Bay and they on the road, and they beat Buffalo on the road. So you got to give them credit.
In a primetime game where Josh Allen looked horrible. Let's look.
Not a chance.
In the NFL?
Absolutely not. No.
He's up there. He's like 10.
Pickens, I'll give you in the top 10. I'll give you in the top 10. I can give you that.
10.
But he's not better than Amon-Ra St. Brown. Not a chance.
Recently,
as of right now.
Okay. Because Jared Goff has been throwing it to everyone.
Well, hold on, because they.
But he's been dropping the ball too.
Yeah, St. Brown's been dropping a lot of shit, dude. It's a conversation to have.
As a St. Brown fantasy owner, I'm well aware of his drops, but he's also Jameson Williams is getting a lot more target share. Sam Laporta
He's
before he went to
open.
IR is getting a
That's
massive
because Dan
target
Campbell
share.
took back over play calling duty, and he went, "Oh, I have this incredibly useful speed demon on my team. Let's get him
They
the ball."
they
once in a while.
finally
He'll take the
decided
top
to
off."
start running the ball again. Yeah, so it's just a very balanced offense. But Amon-Ra St. Brown skill wise, clears George Pickens.
You're crazy. Clears is insane. Dak
Clear
and
is
CD.
insane.
Dak, CD, and Pickens. CD and Pickens, I think they're the best duo wide receiver in the league.
Best duo
at
in the
very
league.
moment. Usually it's Jamar and T. Higgins, but
Best duo in the league.
it's not even remotely close right now, in my opinion. Javonte Williams also helps with that on the ground. I think he had a great game yesterday. Had the most rushes of his career so far. I think it was like 22 or something like that. Just absolutely amazing for him. I think that's just gonna be fun. And let's see who are we on now? Jacoby Brissett. Okay, the only reason I'm saying him, he broke the all-time record in completions with like 47. I think that's actually insane. He deserves to be on the baked list just because of that. A-Chain, yeah, he's great.
Chain. That's how people be saying his name sometimes. I'm like, bro, what are y'all saying?
A-Chain, baby. He looked great. He always does. Free him. He needs to get out of there. Gainwell and the Steelers defense too. Gainwell was carrying the offense for the Steelers this week against the Bengals. Sean Tucker on the Buccaneers. He was great. He took over Rashad White's position while Bucky Irving's hurt. Kind of wild. I thought Tucker was a wide receiver.
Now,
Baker,
what do they do if Bucky's back? What do they do?
play him.
I feel like you have to give Bucky the snap still.
Bucky's like was when he was
Bucky
healthy.
was
they,
the
they
undisputed
didn't even
one before he got
they didn't
hurt.
even
He
need the
shouldn't
wide
lose his
receivers
spot
when
because
Bucky
he got hurt.
when Bucky was healthy. They didn't even need the wide receivers to like do much. You know, I don't know. Bucky Irving's great, dude. He'll be back. Baker had an okay game. I think he just kind of shit the bed in the second half. That's why I put maybe. Caleb and the Bears defense mainly, but Caleb had an okay game. I think he can play a little
He
bit
did not
better.
have a great game. He did not play well at all.
He was okay. He was okay.
He was all right.
I didn't think he did that bad. A lot of people were shitting on him. But
A great game to me is what he did to the Cowboys. That's a great game.
Well, that's harder to do against Brian Flores.
I mean, Minnesota's defense is good, so I'm not super worried about what Caleb does against a defense like that, especially now that Van Ginkel is back for Minnesota. It just changes their entire defense. But I mean, overall, offensively, the Bears didn't have their best performance, but they got it done.
Yep. Davis Mills on the Texans, I guess. He almost lost to the Titans. Not gonna ignore that. Nico Collins, welcome back. You look great. Ted McMillan and Leggett. I'm so proud of these guys. They actually stepped up for once. Ted has been a little bit of a slow start this year, but he's starting to turn up a little bit, and he's having a better rookie year than Marvin Harrison Jr. That's all I can ask for. Free Bijan, 2 touchdowns, 103 yards, and they lost against the Panthers. That's unacceptable in my opinion. Now, the rest of the list, and Drake London, forgot about him. Malik Willis, better than Jordan Love. I'll always say it. CMC3, CMC obviously. Brock Purdy, welcome back. Adams and Puka, even though Puka fumbled.
Devontae.
I don't like that.
Tay had 1 catch this week, Nas.
Who?
Tay.
Oh, I know he had a touchdound though.
Yeah, it was also his 1,000th reception.
Yeah,
you got to put him on there just because of that. He had like the only scorer outside of one on the team this week, so had to put him on this week. Seahawks defense, I think they're the best defense in the league outside the Texans.
I think that might be arguably like the best team in the league, because they can do it on both sides of the ball.
Well, they lost this week, unfortunately.
Well, they lost this week, but
you got to give it to the Rams.
4 picks, but
Eagles defense, they looked great too. But free J-Mo and Max Crosby, free him. We're gonna move on to the cook list. Oh man, we got a lot to talk about. Look, Jamar Chase, you're a coochie, dude. You are one of these. And I look, I thought Jalen Ramsey just punched you, but you are disgusting. You are genuinely disgusting. If another man spits on you, everyone was taught that if another man spits on you, you put hands on that fucker. You have to. There is no reason in hell that Jamar Chase should be spitting on anyone. It's disgusting. It is unmanly. It is the most childish thing you can do. Jalen, your dad.
I thought it as the
I
NFL.
guarantee he told you one time that if a man spits on you, you put your hands on him. I guarantee it. Every man's father tells you.
I thought as the collective NFL, we kind of got past the whole spitting thing after week 1.
Oh my goodness,
and
this is pathetic.
We're 10 weeks in, fellas. I thought we had this figured out.
Jamar Chase,
I thought we had this figured out years ago.
I thought we had this figured out in high school. Okay, I didn't know we were still there. But Jamar Chase, you're instantly not number one the rest of the year. I don't care how good you do. You're canceled until further notice, until Joe Burrow gets back and saves your life. Kevin Stefanski, you are the worst coach I've ever seen when it comes to quarterbacks. Okay, you won Coach of the Year a few years ago. Great. Okay, Kevin Stefanski is treating these quarterbacks like just pawns. Okay, Gabriel, I feel bad for him. You know why? Because he has so much on his shoulders right now. Every time he gets in the game, they boo. Shedeur is not even ready. Not even getting first team reps. Now, look, you go on Twitter, you go online, and you see NFL players saying, "Hey, backups usually don't get the first team reps." Well, that's true, but if you draft 2 rookies, okay, if you draft 2 rookies and you get rid of Joe Flacco, you got to give both of them first team reps, and that's very common with rookies. If one rookie goes down, you want the other rookie to be prepared, correct? So why draft 2 rookies, 3rd round and 5th round? Makes no sense to me. Gabriel wasn't ready. Shedeur wasn't ready. What are you going to do? Well, Shedeur Sanders starts this week because Dylan Gabriel is in concussion protocol. Now he gets the first team reps, so we get to actually evaluate him because Shedeur and Gabriel did not look good. I think the Browns organization is a joke. I think Kevin Stefanski should be fired, but they will not fire him for some reason. I don't know. He might have some dirt on the owner, but
I think they're just waiting till end of season.
What's the point? You're 2-8, 2-9, whatever it is. There's no point. Just fire him now. Shedeur Sanders, I thought he looked better than Gabriel that game. That's just my opinion. You can have your opinion on who's better, but you can't disagree that both of these guys are getting treated like shit. And speaking of shit, let's talk about 9. Oh my goodness. What the hell am I watching with this kid? He's making Justin Jefferson look like an average receiver. And Justin Jefferson is not helping really anymore.
2 drives at the end of the game to come back and win, though. I ain't gonna lie. Like,
Jalen, your defense is missing the top 2 corners, and he has TJ Hawkinson, Jordan Addison, and Justin Jefferson to throw the ball.
And Aaron Jones.
Oh, yes. There's a lot of talent on that team. It shouldn't take all the way until the 4th quarter to break down a defense that Joe Flacco dropped 42 points against.
He also has 9 turnovers, and he's missed like
Geno Smith had 24 points against that defense.
I was very wrong. I'll admit from a few years ago.
From Hawk Talk, yeah.
Yep. Where I said that with that system in place, that JJ McCarthy has the potential to be the best quarterback out of this class. And I will. It's not as bad as Kirk Cousins MVP.
Okay, it's not that bad.
It's up there.
I will say he's only started 5 games, so there is still a chance.
He has 9 turnovers, Chris. He has 9 turnovers.
No, I don't think he's good. Like, he should be on this list, and I'm gonna laugh at him every time he fails, just because.
But it's very early in his career, though.
Yeah,
long time.
Josh Allen looked like shit his first 2 seasons in the NFL.
4 seasons.
Yeah, he kind of looks like stinky poop.
I mean, I'm just saying, I'm not giving up on him yet, but he looks terrible right now.
9. I don't know why you even tell the media that your nickname is 9. That just makes no sense to me. Look, JJ McCarthy, I am disappointed. I thought you were going to be a little bit better than this after week 1, especially when you let that come back against the Bears. And then this week you just shit the bed. You let the Bears just do whatever you want. Justin Fields is pathetic, Jalen. I told you. He's a running back at quarterback. I still hate watching Tua play. He's just boring and he's ass. Mariota and Dan Quinn. Dan Quinn, you're very questionable this week, man. I don't know. I know you won, but wait, did they win? I don't even remember.
No, they lost.
No, they lost. Okay, that's why you're on here. Yeah, you lost because you're on here because you lost. Okay, you're very questionable this week with the play call. I know you don't got much, but you're the oldest team in the league. Just be better. Patrick Mahomes, you are ass, and Andy Reid. All the things I've been saying for years is finally coming true. Patrick Mahomes is very overrated. He doesn't do much, and he can't do much because Andy Reid is now play calling is horrible. He doesn't know what to do against a good defense. Well.
Reed's got the retirement home is calling, and in the next few years,
it's on the way.
I think
it'll be a well-deserved retirement. It'll be a well-deserved retirement. He's one of the best coaches of our generation, if not one of the best of all time. You can make the case that he's one of the better, not one of like top 3, top 5 coach all time, but he's certainly one of the best coaches there is. It's going to be a well-deserved retirement, but yeah, the writing's on the wall for Andy Reid.
Yeah, play calling is very questionable. Geno Smith and Chip Kelly. Chip Kelly is a terrorist. I don't know what the hell they were doing last night. Geno Smith is just bad.
They just don't use Genty, that's all.
Genty, you sold my parlay last night. We'll get to that in a minute. The O-line is mainly at fault. Chargers O-line is horrible. They're the worst O-line I have seen in the past decade. And that's
not by choice, though.
Not by choice, but Greg Roman, you are a terrorist as well. He's the Chargers OC. Can't call a play to save his life or make adjustments. Jameis, why do you throw game-ending picks? Who knows? Where's Kyler Murray? I don't know. I know he's hurt, but like how? Like what? You didn't even play very much.
Blackout 7 just dropped.
I know, but
they benched him.
Like
it's like a soft benching.
It's kind of pathetic. Jared Goff got packed up by that good defense.
Jared Goff became Jared Goof in that game.
Yeah, goofball. Sam Darnold, welcome back. That's funny. Packers receivers, I'm disgusted with you guys. Stop dropping stuff and making Jordan Love look bad. Keenan, QJ, and Ladd, get open, please. Texans almost lost to the Titans. That's all. Joe Flacco got packed up. That's pretty funny. Falcons organization. Since that Super Bowl, man, I just don't really. There's just not much going on there. I mean, they wasted a bunch of money on this new stadium, and they're trying to make something happen with a young team, but they don't have a coach to help. The GM's kind of questionable. I don't know. It's just not a good organization right now.
Their
Bengals
offensive coordinator is also a terrorist.
Yeah, he's bad. Bengals defense, self-explanatory. Justin Jefferson, you just look average right now, man. I'm sorry. Chuba Hubbard, you lost your spot because Rico Dowdle is just disgusting. Michael Penix is over, buddy. I read that it was like MCL, ACL sprain or something like that. Yeah, it's over for you right now.
Didn't he tear it twice in college too?
Yep,
like that,
and then it's all.
He said season injuries 5 out of his 8 years.
That's insane. That's insane.
Done.
That's like a Anthony Richardson kind of stat. Like they just didn't get a lot of playing time. Tom Brady for believing in the Raiders. That's all for the cook list this week. Hopefully we didn't miss much, but here's the little recap of the week. Yep, O-line get absolutely manhandled by the Eagles. I'm just kind of scared for Herbert. And a lot of, ESPN Cleveland's been going off about you during the hate. Here's the QB EPA leaderboard if you exclude drops. Drake May, Jordan Love, wow. Patrick Mahomes, man. Josh Allen and Matt Stafford. Matt Stafford's playing like that even with the drops. It's pretty impressive.
I'm gonna be honest, the only surprise on that list is Drake May. The only surprise on that list. The other 4 guys feel like they should be up at that top part.
Right.
Jordan Love should have only had like 2 or 3 incompletions on Sunday.
Yep. I agree. Justin Fields went first round. Kyler Murray went first round. Zach Wilson went first round. Trey Lance went first round. Mac Jones went first round, but he gets a pass. Kenny Pickett went first round, and Josh Rosen.
Josh Rosen. Thought he was going to be.
That is a crazy stat right there. Okay, all benched are out of the NFL. That is a crazy stat. Obviously, Commanders have the oldest team and oldest, slowest, most injured, and most current players on 1-year deals we have seen.
Whoever that Sam Block is crazy. The NFL's QB problem, development problem. There's been a lot of 3rd and 4th round picks that have been good, so I don't think it's the development.
Dak Prescott.
I was going to say it's more of a certain teams have development problems than anything else.
Well, look at those teams. There's the Bears, there's the Cardinals, there's the Jets. Trey Lance is the exception. He got hurt. There's Mac Jones, just stinky poop.
I mean, he was on the Patriots. They didn't develop him right.
No.
Yeah. There's the Steelers who were in kind of purgatory at that point. And then there's the Cardinals again. It's usually the same teams. It's the same suspects every single time.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, we continue with ESPN Cleveland. I mean, they're just going off about the coaching there, man. They're not doing right by these players, man. Jalen, you're right, but I still think Shedeur is a little bit better than Gabriel and can be better if he gets the right help. Jacoby Brissett, again, that's kind of an insane stat, even though they lost. They just throwing it because they don't have a running back. More on Shador. Don't really need to get too much into that. This is crazy. I don't understand this guy.
Yuck.
How is that even possible? Are you reading this with me? Myles Garrett, 4 sacks,
Yuck.
5 QB hits, 5 tackles. This is like, can he win Depoy off of doing this stuff? I think.
I
he
mean,
can,
you
right?
would. I mean, he's on a good defense. Like the only reason the Browns aren't winless is because of their defense and the Packers. But
But like, can he? I genuinely want to know if he can win Depoy. That's kind of crazy to me. But yeah, 9. Yeah, and at the top, I'm also convinced that it doesn't matter who coaches the Chargers. We're just destined to be mid, and I have to live with that for the rest of my life. That's okay though. We'll get better somehow.
It was always the Jags.
Ashton
all
Genty,
right?
you owe me money. I'm not gonna tell you how much, but you owe me money. That's it. That's all for the day for the football recap of the weekend. But you owe me money, Ashton Genty. And do I look like Ashton Genty? I don't think I do, but everyone else does. But that's it. That's all.
Can we
for
get
the
like
day.
Maybe
a
a
photo
little bit.
collage, like a side by side?
Yeah, I'll get it. 1 sec.
maybe a little bit.
Well, we got a guest. He's now with Locked On. I worked with him with the Jazz, obviously, last year, and now he's full time with Locked On Wildcats. So let's welcome Leaf Tulane.
What's up, Lee?
Leaf.
What's up?
How we been?
How are you guys? I'm excited to talk hoops with you guys.
Hey, man, this is gonna be great. I'm excited.
Good to have you on again.
So let's talk about how you got
question
Locked
here.
On Wildcats.
Yeah, go for that
Tell them
first.
what that is
Yep.
for the people who don't know.
Well, it's a daily show of covering Arizona, for the most part basketball, because they are a basketball school, cover football as well. And I'd done Locked On Jazz, Locked On NBA draft essentially. And so kind of had my time there doing different things for 3 years, and now finally have my own show. And it's fun to kind of have the own direction over it, as opposed to being a fill-in or a full-time guest almost. And so now having my own show has been rewarding, but it's also been fun because I do a lot of deep dives into college basketball well before the season, no matter which team I'm covering or if I'm covering a team whatsoever. And in doing so, before getting the job, I kind of had Arizona ranked well ahead of where they were ranked. And then when I got the job, I started specializing my deep dive into Arizona, and I had them ranked well ahead of where they were ranked already. Started really diving in and convinced myself, okay, this team could be a Final Four team. And so far, in 2 weeks of basketball, they're ranked number 4 in the AP poll. So I'm pretty excited about that. I mean, I'm not an Arizona fan by trade or anything like that. I didn't grow up a fan, but as someone who loves college basketball and really studies it, it's been a rewarding experience.
Well, and now they have, excuse me,
Cold
they have
Pete.
what could arguably be a national championship preview upcoming tomorrow against UConn. Tell me, how confident are you going into that one? Because UConn looks to be a wagon again after starting out real slow last year.
Okay, so I have a take that I've said a number of times on my show, but this will be it'll sound crazy, but bear with me on this. And then I'll get to the answer of that game in particular. But so here's my take, and I said this before the season started. Arizona played Florida in the opener, UCLA the other day. They play UConn, Alabama, Auburn, and San Diego State of their 6 non-conference games against big time opponents, and then they play 7 bye games in which they should win all of them. So that's 13 games. And most projections, like you look at Ken Palm, Bart Torvik, all these nerdy analytical sites for college basketball, they projected you kind of go 2-4 by the numbers against those 6 teams, or 3-3. I thought that at the worst, Arizona would go 11-2 in non-conference, meaning they'd go 4-2 in those games. And I thought that Florida was overrated, and I thought that UCLA would take a little bit because they play super slowly, and Donovan Dent, their best player, plays very quickly. He went from the number 7 tempo team in New Mexico last year to the 352nd ranked team in tempo at UCLA. So there's just going to be an adjustment period. So my pitch was essentially Arizona by January would be number 1 in the country because they go 11-2 or better in non-conference play, beating Florida, UCLA, Auburn and San Diego State, and and so this would be 12-1 essentially. One of Alabama and UConn. I think UConn's the hardest game. I said on my preview for the season that I thought UConn would win this game. I still kind of think UConn's got the advantage, but like they have every chance. And then Big 12 play opens up, and they play a schedule. Let me pull up really fast for you guys. This is to hold up the schedule. Arizona plays to start Big 12 play. Utah at Utah, but Utah's terrible. Kansas State at home. TCU away. TCU lost to New Orleans. Arizona State's really bad, and it's at Arizona. UCF at UCF, which is tricky because that's a long travel, but they're not good. Cincinnati at home and West Virginia at home. So they should start 7-0. To me, that's 19-1 or 18-2. And if you're 19-1 or 18-2 through 20 games, having beaten the teams that they beat, they should be number one in the country. So I said that before the season. I got a lot of hate on it. So far, so good. I still think UConn's probably the hardest team, but I don't think that's the craziest outline to be number one in the country, and they're already number 4.
What team are you most worried about during that long stretch of the 17 games that you just went over? I know that you said that most of them are easy games, but it's also Big 12. You got a lot of rivalries in the long run, maybe. But what team could you see, maybe upsetting Arizona in the long run?
Well, so of the Big 12 schedule alone, you're saying?
Yeah.
Let's see. I don't like having to travel from Arizona to Florida. I think UCF's weird that way, but I think UCF is not as good. I would go with Kansas State just because they have some serious talent but I really do think that they should win every one of those games. It's hard to say you'll win 7 in a row, but if you were to isolate each of those games, I think they should win all of those. And then I didn't mean to push away the comment of previewing UConn. UConn to me is a really good team, and this is I do a poll every week. I've done this since I was like a little kid. I've had UConn since before the season as number 3, and I think they are number 3 now in the AP poll. And I think UConn's one of the few teams that my eyes tell me might be better than Arizona. Arizona's got a better resume at this point than UConn, but they have the best resume in the country at this point, having 2 non-conference wins away from home. And you look at UConn, they just run this meticulous offense with the 250th pace, but they're still one of the most efficient offenses. They score 65% of their 2-point baskets attempted, and they shoot north of 40% from 3. Their offense is beautiful, and defensively they're stout. Their game planning is wonderful from Hurley. So I think the fact that that's at Connecticut, and that's a long way to travel from Arizona to Storrs, Connecticut, and a true road game at UConn's home campus, not like you're traveling to play in Boston like BYU just did against UConn. So my gut is UConn wins this game. I'm preparing a show to air tomorrow as to how Arizona can win. And the real premise of it is essentially you got to dominate the paint, because Arizona scores 56% of their points from within the paint. And if you can dominate at that rate against a team like UConn, you got a chance.
So how does y'all Locked On shows work? Because obviously I had to send some samples to Tom Lee and stuff, but how does that when do y'all record y'all shows though?
I don't know for everyone. I like to record the day before, and then I post it to air super early in the morning. So as we speak right now, it's 9:45 where I am, and I've had my show out for 2.5 hours that I recorded last night.
Gotcha.
So, and then after this, I'll record some stuff, go through my day, coach different sports, record another one, have a preview out. The game happens. I'll do a postcast, just recapping the game immediately, have live viewers, and then I'll do another show that airs Thursday. So it ends up adding up to a lot, but it's fun, especially when they're winning. So hopefully they can beat UConn, and I think that would put them at number 1 in the country.
Now you just came off a game against UCLA, who now you're talking to a lot of guys from Wisconsin or that general neck of the woods, right? I was Jalen, Chicago area, but everyone else, I don't know if the accent gave it away or not. But UCLA, that game the other night, you only won by 4 points. Correct me if I'm wrong. What was it about UCLA that was so difficult? And is UCLA a threat in the Big Ten this year?
So what's so difficult about UCLA is UCLA plays like a diametrically opposed style to what Arizona does. And Mick Cronin's one of the best scouters, of all the coaches. Everyone comes in with a scouting report, but not everyone adheres to it as closely as he does. So UCLA came in 352nd in pace, and Arizona under Tommy Lloyd has been top 20 in pace 3 of the 4 years. And so, typically it's easier to slow down a game than it is to speed it up. The other thing that makes UCLA really difficult is when they come out with a scout and they say they're going to double team Koa Pete. Koa Pete scored 37 boards, 5 assists against Florida, right? Like that's a dominant, that's an All-American type of guy. So his whole premise was, hey, I'm going to have anyone else beat him. And Arizona didn't do that well. Koa Pete turned the ball over, got in foul trouble. A lot of different things went wrong for Arizona. Yet at half, while shooting just 36% from the field, they were winning by 3. And then if you go to the end of this game, UCLA had a lead. Arizona decided instead of playing a hard hedging defense to switch. And UCLA, I think, has some moving pieces. But that game was in Inglewood. It was essentially a home game for UCLA. And before the season started, UCLA was ranked AP number 12, ahead of Arizona. It was favored to win this game by 4.5 points before the season. By the season's beginning, Arizona was favored to win by 1. But it wasn't like they should have dominated UCLA. So I honestly think it was a good thing to have the versatility to win a track meet against Florida 93-87 and then win a rock fight 69-65 against UCLA, neither of which were at home. So I just think that the best way to be a championship team, I'm not saying Arizona's a championship team yet, I think they have the capacity to be one, is to be able to win both styles. And as for UCLA can win a lot of games in the Big Ten. I don't think they're a threat to win the Big Ten. I think Purdue is the best team in the Big Ten. I don't think it's particularly close, actually. I actually really like the Badgers. I'll see the Badgers play BYU this week, and I will report back to you guys. But I've had the Badgers top 25. I think Purdue's supposed to win the Big Ten, and they should. They look very good. They beat Alabama at Alabama. That's the most impressive win of anyone in college basketball thus far. I think Illinois is really good. I think Michigan right now has got some stuff to figure out. And then you'd probably go UCLA and Michigan State 4 or 5, but and Wisconsin. Sorry, so it's like that. There's a third tier right there that I go UCLA, Michigan State, and Wisconsin are kind of the 4 through 6. Michigan's got a lot of hype. I'm not as sold on them. I had them lower to begin the
David would be pissed,
but they'll figure something out.
Yeah, get David on this show.
So you mentioned that you don't think Arizona's a championship team yet. Now I want to figure. I want from your point of view, you're the Arizona expert at this point. What do you think that they have to do to become, that championship caliber team, and who needs to step up? Who's your guy that you want to see step up the team to become that championship level?
Yeah, so that actually perfectly is outlined, because what I think that Arizona lacks is consistency from some of their younger players. And so that's normal 4 games into the season. Right. It's just usually 4 games into the season, you're not playing 2 top 12 teams before the preseason, and then the 5th game against the number 3 team in the nation on the road. So usually you ease your way in. So in my opinion, Arizona has a 5-star freshman in Braden Burries, who I think will be the 3rd leading scorer of this team when it's all said and done. And right now he's shooting like 30% from the field. So you're number 4 in the country. You've beaten these teams with a 5-star, basically non-existent. They also have 2 other freshmen that have been like Jekyll and Hyde. One of them opened up the season. He's the starting small forward, Ivan Karchenkov, and he had 12 points, 10 boards against the defending national champs. Since then, hasn't hit a shot from the field other than a runaway layup. And then you had Dwayne Aristode, who a lot of people from the draft community are very excited about because he's a fantastic athlete, and he had 1 game against NAU where he hit 6 threes, and other than that, he hasn't scored from the field. So basically, and then Koa Pete, I think, is an All-American, but he scored 2 field goals and had 6 turnovers in the last game. They still won.
I saw that.
So essentially, you're 4-0, and against really good teams. You have the best resume in college basketball, bar none, not even close, because you've beaten 2 top 12 preseason teams away from home. And 4 of your 8 players have been inconsistent, and you've still won those games and been the better team through the majority of those games. And so if you were to say, okay, you give me 30 more games, give or take, 27 more games of the regular season, you get to Big 12 conference tournament and then March Madness, and you tell me that team stagnates because those freshmen don't improve, then that's the issue of why they're not a championship team yet. However, I'm firmly of the belief, with 27 more games, you could have a significant jump in ability, because those guys, instead of being consistently not very impactful, they might be inconsistent but could have massive impact in certain games. And so I think that's the real growth. I think they've done a very good team. And And to the comment here, the sole purpose being one and dones is they haven't had a one and done in quite a while, other than Carter Bryant, who came off the bench. So I disagree with that comment. But I think they've got a really good chance to be a top 2 seed. And, from there, you got to get some luck. You got to play well. I think anything's possible, though.
So
I have a question. So I've been seeing a lot that this draft class, like this outgoing class into the NBA, could be one of the strongest in recent memory. How do you feel about that?
I agree. The
It's very
draft
strong,
class is
yeah.
unbelievable.
Extremely strong, dude.
I think the top 3 are the best top 3 that we've seen since 2003, probably. And that's the LeBron draft. And then you look at the guys after that, like Mikel Brown Jr., Nate Ament, like all these guys have already had statement games that very few guys the years prior have had. And I think there's 10 guys that would have gone 1 or 2 in the 2024 draft.
So let's get a little bit of you're obviously a fan of the Utah Jazz. What do you think of what they're doing with Ace Bailey? How they started the season with Ace Bailey, but now as he's come on to late, what do you think about that?
I think he's really talented. You just got to play him. Like, play him through mistakes. I was very frustrated with him not playing much to start the season. I kind of understood it, but at the same point, like, you're going to be bad. You might as well be bad and reward good playing from the youngster, but everyone there understands, like, he's the guy with the talent that can change the trajectory of the franchise. So, like, they're on a bad team. They know it. Yeah, you like to play, but you got to have understanding of what the industry is. So I was frustrated. I'm happy to see him play better. I was at the game the other night, and unfortunately got 6 fouls in 10 minutes. So that was annoying for me as a fan to watch him struggle on that stage, especially with a thunderous dunk and a 3 in the first quarter. But I think Ace Bailey is supremely talented. I think there's still a world he ends up the second best player in that class behind Cooper Flag.
So my question is, I kind of want to lean back towards the college basketball realm of the development of the players. Like, we've seen the past few years, outside of last year's draft, this year's draft, I mean, we've seen the development kind of teeter a little bit. Now, what is your opinion on, like, the coaches in college basketball getting these guys prepared for the league? Like, is it on the rise? Is it getting better, you think, or is it kind of just depend on the class, you think?
That's a good question. I think in this case, there's a couple of these guys that could have come out of high school if it were allowed and would have been just fine. Like Darren Peterson, I think could score 20 a game in the NBA right now. And at 18 years old, I think he could have done it last year, frankly. I think Cam Boozer has been a man amongst boys every time he's played. And so why not join the league full of men? And AJ DeBonsa, same idea. So I don't think
him up close. Yeah, he's a problem.
Preparation is all that important for those guys. I think if you were to look at development, like, of course, you're going to look at the track record of Calipari's guards. They've done well in the NBA. So you could say, like, it's a slam dunk. You draft Calipari's guard, they're going to be great. Some of those guys weren't that impactful in college. So I think there is a balance, like you said, about how much of it is internal development, how much can be showcased. But I think each program's different, how reliant they are on youngsters. So the reason Arizona, for instance, to answer that comment saying one and done's, like, the reason Arizona won against UCLA is their seniors played great. They have 4 upperclassmen that were all great in that game, and all 4 freshmen were terrible, and they still had enough balance to be the top 12 preseason team in Inglewood, right? Like, I don't think that Arizona's a one and done factory, but they can be because they have the resources to go get some guys. They have the allure of being a big time program. And Duke is the opposite, right? Like, Duke's going to get 5 stars every year. That said, Duke has to complement those 5 stars with veterans that know, like, their role is to be an ancillary piece as opposed to the star. And so I think that there are different programs for different things. I think there's a couple places like, okay, you just like send a 5-star there. They're going to go to the draft, but they're not going to win. And then there's some that are like, hey, we want to win a championship. But it also depends who the player is. Like, does the player care that much about the ride of college basketball? And I think a lot of these guys now getting paid for doing so are very invested in winning championships, and we'll see how invested they are. Like, AJ has internal belief that BYU can win a championship. I'm not sure I'm there with him. I don't think they're a well-rounded enough team, but they're top 10 already, and I think they've got tons of room to improve. Darren Peterson went to Kansas. Kansas is a blue blood. I actually don't think their roster is good enough to win a championship. But and then you look at Cam Boozer. I think Duke's probably the second best team in the nation right now. So those guys are going to impact college basketball and then go to the pros. And I think that's how college basketball should be.
0 out of 10 rage bait.
So Leaf, do you think so I've been kind of working a little bit closely with like kind of Marquette. I'm based in Milwaukee, so I'm kind of just there all the time around all the players. Are you able to be like around all the Arizona players? Are you able to connect with those guys and kind of hear their point of view of like, how the season's going and with the direction they think that it's going to go?
I love Shaka. I actually think he's a very innovative
He's awesome,
coach.
man. He's awesome.
I'm disappointed in the team this year,
I
and
agree.
even before watching them play Indiana, and before was it Maryland?
Maryland was on Saturday. They shot their
Maryland.
like almost their like the team's high in 3-pointers on Saturday. It was ridiculous.
And Pharrell Payne went down too. It looked like all hope was lost, and then Maryland turned into the best team in the country for about 10 minutes there.
Yeah.
So
I was producing that game, and the announcers were just talking to me through the comms and was saying like, this is, they're not making any shots. They're shooting up so many threes and all this and that. But like, I just want to know, like, are you close to these players? Like, because the Marquette players, they're telling me that they have a chance. They can do this. They can bounce back. Are there any Arizona players able to talk to you about that?
I have spoken with 0 players. This is all just an observation, different thing. I've tried to kind of set the foundation so I can attend games. I got credentials for BYU in Utah because I'm based in Utah, so I'll go to an Arizona place there, and I'll try to kind of make acquaintance and before then send a bunch of emails. But about Marquette, I think Shaka is very unique. He didn't take a transfer for the 3rd straight year.
Yeah.
And what's crazy is their best player the last 5-7 years was a transfer from George Washington and Tyler Kohler.
Yep.
And so if you take Tyler Kohler from George Washington and turn him into the Big East Player of the Year, you probably think that the transfer portal is half decent. But I also love the way Shaka operates in loyalty to his players. I like the idea of trying to develop internally Chase Ross. I like the idea of developing Royce Parham. And I like Demarius Owens, and he's saddled on the bench. Like, there are good players.
Yep.
You just need guys to bring them along, and instead they're all growing together. So I think this is a Marquette team that's not – I think it's the worst Marquette team he's had in quite a while. I'd be surprised if they make the tournament, frankly. But I like Shaka.
Ooh.
Like, I want them to do well.
Yeah, I agree.
That's hot.
Of.
That's a hot
I think
take.
they make the tournament. I think Ben Gold is just ridiculous this year. Obviously, they got some other great players on that team as well. But Ben Gold is my personal favorite. Just the way he plays is amazing. But it's just when they play Wisconsin, I think that'll determine how I feel or not. I think that's always a great matchup, Marquette versus Wisconsin. I'll probably go to that game as well in Madison. That'd just be a great game all around. But they got to beat Madison to be able to, contend with the rest of their schedule. In my opinion, I think it's in 2 weeks or something like that, December something, 6 or something like that. But it's coming up, so I'm excited for that matchup. But I think Marquette will make the tournament. I do. I just think it'll be a little bit closer than it was last year.
They're non-comp. So that's the thing, though. That last year they were a 7 seed that fizzled out, but they started fantastically because Cam Jones. And here's a take you'll like. I think Cam Jones was better than Walter Clayton last year. He just was on a way worse team. Like Cam Jones to start the year, and Jalen can tell you.
That's hot.
Okay, but Jalen can tell you this is not hindsight whatsoever. I was on the Florida train before one of our broadcast assistants, who was a Florida fan. I was telling him they could win a championship before he believed it, and I was all in on Florida. I had Florida on every bracket I filled out last year, and I played all these. And Walter Clayton's on the Jazz. Didn't like the pick because right now he's not playing because he's deep on our bench. But Cam Jones was the best player in college basketball, not named Cooper Flagg or Janai Broom, for the first 4 months of basketball.
That's true.
That there was absolutely no help given to him. I'm not saying that he is a better player than Walter Clayton. I'm saying he was better at college basketball for the first 4 months of this season. And honestly, I would say the whole season. Like, he was more deserving of being a first-team All-American than anyone else that was a guard. Yeah. I would say he was better than Braden Smith too. Because his responsibilities were enormous.
Mm-hmm.
And he was doing great. You just have to fizzle out at a certain point when you're giving no help. But the reason I made this point, I just wanted to say that point because it's a fun one. But the reason I made this point is a legitimate one. They were a 7 seed last year, which is essentially bubble territory if you lose 2 more games. Well, last year they started off hot, had an All-American, And this year, they do not have that. They have lost both games that help build a resume. And I'm not convinced Maryland's a tournament team. So, like, you've already lost against a team that isn't a tournament team. Indiana's probably a 7 seed. And so you have to be very good in Big East play. Fortunately for you guys, Big East is pretty weak this year.
Yeah.
But that means if
Georgetown,
you lose,
though, Georgetown's on the
Georgetown's
comeback.
good. Georgetown is good.
Georgetown's solid. That they're fine. Creighton, everyone had ranked. They're not very good.
They're not good.
And Providence, everyone was like, "Oh, Providence on the rise." They don't look very good. So it's really UConn and St. John's. And so now, if you lose it all to DePaul, if you lose it all to any of those teams, like you're going to lose tons of standing points because you're going to have Q2, Q3 losses. Excuse me. So I'd be surprised if Marquette makes the tournament without a really, really impressive Big East schedule.
And last one.
My final question.
I wanted to ask one really quick too. So moving back to NBA, the Pelicans already fired their head coach Willie Green after their abysmal start. Who do you think is the next coach to get fired? Because I think there's a couple options here.
That's a tough one. That's hard because there's so much politics into this, right? Like Willie Green in his first couple of years took a team to the playoffs that looked really promising, and then all of a sudden the wheels fall off due to injuries and draft situations. So you never know how it turns out. I wish I had a better answer for you off the top of my head. I'm just trying to think because a lot of the coaches are new. I got to pull up the standings and just like visualize it for a moment.
I think the Hornets.
Like Indiana's not firing Carlisle. I think Washington, it's too early to fire their guy. I don't think Quinn Snyder is getting fired in Atlanta because he's developing the young guys. Brooklyn's an interesting one, but I don't think you get fired this early in a tenure. Sacramento's gone through a host of bodies recently. I don't think Jason Kidd gets fired in Dallas. Actually, I got an answer for you. Sorry, I had to go through all the stuff. I'm going Tomas Isolo from Memphis.
Oh yeah,
he's new this year too, isn't he?
Yeah,
was that last year?
He was an interim at the end of last year, and then he's filling out. But if your best player in the franchise is unhappy and your team's not winning, I think that's the recipe to get fired early. The rest of them, I was saying early, I think they were taking over tanking teams. That team was in the playoffs last year. So I think the expectations there, so you can set a precedent and fire someone, as opposed to like why would the Wizards fire a guy in Keefe for being there for 2 years and they've gotten better. They're just still bad because they were abysmal to begin. I could very easily be wrong, but that's my prediction.
Really quick, I have one more question. The two best games on the men's slate today, Duke, Kansas, and Michigan State, Kentucky. I want to mainly focus on Michigan State, Kentucky. That looks to be quite the tough matchup tonight. Who do you have in that one?
Yeah, Kentucky.
I think Kentucky should win that game. I think Michigan State has the best motivator there is in Tom Izzo. I adore Tom Izzo.
Go green, baby.
But I love Tom Izzo, but that team does not have offensive talent. Like if Kentucky can keep Michigan State out of scoring and transition, I don't really see a way Michigan State wins on a neutral site. But honestly, I love Tom Izzo so much. So I think he's the best at getting the most out of the least. But this Michigan State team really lacks offensive talent, and I think Kentucky should score well enough to win this game. But I've been kind of unimpressed with Kentucky. They've been a little injured. I thought they'd be one of the best 5 teams in the country, and they have not been. They're a little injured. They have different guys filling different roles. Michigan State knows exactly what they are, and that matters a lot. But I mean, Jeremy Fears can't put a ball into water, right? Like he can't hit the broadside of a barn. You got Jackson Kohler and Cooper who neither can shoot. Cohen Carr can't shoot at all. Like there's just not a way to manufacture enough points consistently enough unless you rebound or score in transition at like absurd rates, which I know is the identity for Michigan State. But I just think against teams that are athletic enough and big enough to stay with them, it's hard for Michigan State.
Last one. Flag.
Cooper Flag is fantastic. The dude's unbelievable. He's 18 years old and he's figured the NBA out in 10 games.
Hold on. Con Knipple. What are we talking about? Con Knipple. That guy's unreal this year.
He's really good.
I just want to put it out there.
He's really, really good. I think Khan's like the perfect plug and play guy. He's good already. He'll be good for a long time. I don't know if his ceiling is like a guy you can put the ball in the hands of and create as the individual creator, but that guy can really play. Like he's doing the exact same thing he did at Duke. Just move him up to the NBA nonchalant. He ends up doing what he wants. He's a real good ball player, but like Cooper Flagg's at a whole different level.
Oh yeah, I'm just saying we got to put some shine on. I mean, Khan is front runner rookie of the year.
Wisconsin kid.
Oh yes, I finally agree with this commenter. I love Kalkbrenner.
I agree. He's really good.
I was on the Kalkbrenner train his freshman year at Creighton, saying he should be an All-American every year after. Here's a fun fact for you: Ryan Kalkbrenner never fouled out at a game at Creighton and won the Defensive Player of the Year 4 years in a row, first since Patrick Ewing did it at Georgetown.
That's crazy.
He's good, dude. I've been saying it since he played his first 3 games. I'm like, this guy's he's something special.
We'll be keeping track of all hoops and college hoops, especially Arizona, since that's your show now. So, any last words before Leaf leaves? Heads up.
I got a question really quick. What's Bryce James gonna do? Is he gonna transfer? Is he gonna redshirt? Is he gonna be back next year? Is he gonna try and do something else?
He's going to redshirt. I'm pretty sure they haven't announced it officially, but in the blowouts that they've had in 2 of the games, they've played everyone but he and one other guy. And in college basketball, it's not like football where you get 4 games to maintain eligibility and have the possibility of redshirting. In basketball, it's if you play a second, you burn eligibility. So I'm pretty confident he's going to redshirt.
All right. Well, we'll thank Leaf, and he'll be on with us in the upcoming months as college basketball and the NBA gets into full swing down the stretch. So thanks for coming on.
Leaf, man.
See you soon.
Thank you,
talking
Leaf.
to you.
Thanks for hopping on.
Thank you guys. It was fun.
Yep.
So with that, we're gonna do our final thoughts.
Baseball offseason finally starting to kind of kick into gear. It's not as active as the beginning of last year's was, but Josh Naylor nailing a deal, no pun intended, with the Seattle Mariners after getting traded there this past deadline season. 5 years, $92 million. And to my understanding, there's no options on it, so it's a straight 5-year contract. I was close. I had him at 5 years, 112 with the Mariners. But I had the 5th year as a mutual option for $25 million or like a $7 million buyout. So it was really like $88 million that I had. But Josh Naylor back with the Mariners, great signing for them. And that's probably going to start moving the needle a little bit on guys like Murakami, guys like Pete Alonso, right? Those big boppers that are out there in free agency. I thought Murakami might have landed with the Mariners at some point. Maybe as a DH role, it still could happen. But the MLB offseason's underway. Ryan Yarbrough just re-signed with the Yankees. This is the start. Winter meetings are coming up in just under a month now. The GM meetings just finished up last week. So things are going to start falling into place now. Start looking for guys like Hunter Green is going to be on the trade table. Freddie Peralta is going to be on the trade table. I'm looking at guys like with the Mets. Are the Mets going to retool? What's going to happen over in Philadelphia, Nazir? What's going to happen with guys like Castellanos and Kyle Schwarber? This is going to be he's a big dude and he hits tanks. Okay, he's a big
and he steals bases,
right? So he steals bases too out of nowhere. So the MLB offseason, I'm excited. Being the baseball purist that I am, baseball is my main love when it comes to sports coverage. So the offseason, this is exciting. Thursday. The way I understand it, Thursday we're gonna have a nice little free agency discussion. They're gonna talk about,
Sure.
And I've got a nice little take right now. I don't know if Drew's gonna be on, but my dream for Milwaukee is Bo Bichette. That's my dream,
I just don't see
and
it.
it makes sense.
Not happening.
That's
It makes
Jesus
sense.
asking
I mean-
for Jesus Christ to come back.
You asking
himself.
for Jesus?
Yeah, I mean,
Great.
you
Well,
were
that would be
sending
like
out the Blake
asking-
Snell tweets every day 2 years ago too.
I liked that too, and there was discussions with the Brewers, to my understanding. If my memory serves, there were discussions. It never went anywhere, but there were discussions, and Milwaukee internally kind of wanted to bring on Blake Snell. So I could see them, the way that they're handling their money right now, with no Rhys Hoskins, They assumed that Brandon Woodruff was going to be taking $10 million off of their book this year with the mutual option. I think he takes the qualifying offer, which kind of throws a wrench in the plan. But no Quintana, and he was due a lot. No Woodruff, no Hoskins. They're gonna try and retool William Contreras a little bit to save another $1 million. They're freeing up about $30 to $45 million in space. They have the ability to go out there and get a guy like Bo Bichette.
Now they have the ability. Will they? I doubt it.
No.
I think
They
they're
won't.
going to go for some buy lows. But one team, I saw a tweet, I think it was from Passon this morning, about Pittsburgh being willing to spend money this offseason.
Good. They finished.
Yeah.
I've said it before. I don't know if you guys remember this. Juan Soto nearly went to Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh finished third in the Juan Soto chase behind the Mets and the Yankees. It was Pittsburgh.
Do I love that it's a division rival that's willing to spend money right now? No. But I think the Pirates are recognizing the window of opportunity that they have with Bubba Chandler coming up late this season.
Connor Griffin.
Yeah,
Skeens.
there's talent that's going to be on this team, and all they need to really do is supplement what they already have because the starting pitching is already good. That's not a problem. Once Chandler gets going more next year, if
Jared Jones.
I mean, there's other guys
Jones,
on
he's
that
back.
team that they're gonna. I think they could be a really sneaky good team next year if a couple things go their way. The NL Central could be really, really competitive next year, depending on how things go.
I think they have a good rotation. Their offense still sucks.
Well, if they're willing to spend money and add a couple bats this season, anything can happen.
Yeah, if they would have landed maybe like a Juan Soto, if they landed something like that, other people would have followed suit and came.
When if Brian Reynolds can play up to his contract, that helps a little bit too.
They added Rafi Flores and Edwin Perez too in the David Bednar trade. So they added a bunch of offense. Brian Sanchez is still very young. There's not a lot of track record on him quite yet. But when he was traded during that trade deadline season this past year, Brian Sanchez was hitting like 340 in the Dominican Summer League. He's like 17 years old, and that's pretty tough to do for a 17-year-old. So the future is actually kind of bright.
That last part, we don't talk politics.
Make the NL Central great again.
Politics here.
All right.
Oh, that's not political. We want that
Sam, really
great
quick
again.
before we log off. What are your NL Central standings right now?
Going into next year. So I think Milwaukee still wins it. It's a little. It's a little.
Just a little bit.
I can see it.
Everyone tells me I do.
Genty's got a little more mass to his face.
He's got more
it's
hair,
a little bit wider.
He's got a bigger forehead too.
I got a fat forehead.
It's a little wider.
He's got a fatter forehead.
But right now, I've got the Brewers. I think it goes Brewers, Cubs, Reds again. Just point blank. St. Louis in fifth, Pittsburgh in fourth. That's not to say Pittsburgh is going to be bad. That's just to say that they're not going to beat out the Reds or the Cubs or the Brewers. I think the Reds have one of the greatest question marks associated with them coming up this offseason. What do? They were the purgatory playoff spot, right? Their pitching staff single-handedly carried them to the playoffs. What do they do? Do they sell off? Because there's rumors that Hunter Green is going to be on the move. Or that Nick Lodolo, granted they won't get as much for Nick Lodolo as they would Green. Nick Lodolo might be on the move. Andrew Abbott could be on the move. They're going to try and trade from a position of strength in their starting rotation because they have solid starting rotation options coming up. Chase Burns, Rhett Lauder, right? They can move one of those starters to get a big-time bat. And then they have the money space as well to add another big-time bat. What are the Reds going to do this offseason? If the Reds start making moves, I think they might win the NL Central.
Yeah, we're going to get into that on Thursday a lot. Going to talk about a lot of MLB free agency moves, predictions, and things like that right before the winter meetings start. What is it, next week? 2 weeks? So
a few weeks from now, in December.
Yeah. So, Naj, you got anything for your final thought?
The Bucks looked I think Cole Anthony needs to sit the hell down when KPJ gets back and just limit his minutes. He plays so much losing basketball recently, dude. And I know we played the Cavs, but every time we play the Cavs, we play them so close and so well. Even though Donovan Mitchell had like 37 or something like that. I mean, we're down like 4 the entire game. I just Cole Anthony, you just gotta sit down, dude. It was hard to watch. I love the pickup though. I think he's gonna be great down the stretch. It's just right now, he has these tendencies of just playing this weird, angle of basketball where he'll just chuck up mid rangers sometimes and they'll miss. It was a tendency he had on the Magic, and that's one of the reasons they got rid of him. But I think he's got to be.
They need to go get a wing. That's what they need, a lockdown wing, because most of the time when they lose, or even when they win, they just struggle against guarding wings. Like Con Knipple had 32 points against them the other day. He's only one of many that have done the same thing.
Yeah, I don't know. Kyle Kuzma plays okay defense. He had a great game that game, but then he had a shit game against the Lakers. It's just we have so much to figure out, and Giannis got hurt, and I don't know. We need someone that can hold the weight, and Ryan Rollins can't do that because I know he's a breakout player right now. But I mean, he's again breakout player. He's not going to be able to beat Tyrese Maxey right away. So we just got a lot to figure out, man. It was kind of a disappointment to watching, and also the Chargers, real quick. A lot of questionable coaching recently. Yesterday we were on a 3-game win streak until yesterday or Sunday. But I think we'll be fine. We have a really hard schedule coming up, though. Eagles, I'm very terrified of them. We got the Chiefs again. We got the Broncos again. We got the Raiders again. We got the Texans and Cowboys. It's not looking very bright for us right now. But I think we're gonna win a few of those games. It's just gonna take a lot to do so. So we'll see.
And my final thought, I want to see that Tron movie. I'm gonna try to go see it, but if I don't, then I'm gonna definitely watch it when it comes out on streaming. So, well, we've come to the end of the show, fellas. So subscribe, like, share, and comment. Follow our podcast page on other platforms. The links are in the description box below. We do have a Spotify, Instagram, and a TikTok, so they will be in there. We will post real shorts of this show, polls, question boxes. You can always DM us on things you want to have answered. We do dab into other topics like music, film, or life outtakes as well, like I just said with Tron. And with that, it's Shot of Sports. We'll see you on a big show on Thursday.